Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki, published by Wise Office Audiobook channel. Introduction to Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Rich Dad, Poor Dad, authored by Robert Kiyosaki, stands as a seminal work in the realm of personal finance literature. The book's narrative unfolds through the lens of Kiyosaki's dual mentorship under two distinct father figures, his biological father, whom he refers to as his poor dad, and the father of his childhood best friend, known as his rich dad. This unique setup not only serves as the backbone of the book, but also introduces readers to contrasting philosophies on wealth, education, and life. The central theme of Rich Dad, Poor Dad revolves around financial literacy, a concept that is grossly undervalued in traditional educational systems, according to Kiyosaki. Through engaging anecdotes and straightforward advice, the book demystifies complex financial concepts, making them accessible to a broad audience. It challenges conventional wisdom about money management, urging readers to rethink their approach to earning, spending, and investing. Kiyosaki's motivation for writing this book stemmed from his desire to share the invaluable lessons he learned from his rich dad. He observed firsthand how different attitudes towards money could lead to vastly different outcomes in life. His poor dad, despite being highly educated and holding a prestigious government job, struggled financially. In contrast, his rich dad, who dropped out of school at a young age, became one of the wealthiest men in Hawaii. These stark differences fueled Kiyosaki's passion to educate others on the importance of financial intelligence. As we delve deeper into the chapters of Rich Dad, Poor Dad, each section will unravel more layers of these foundational themes, providing insights into how one can navigate the complexities of personal finance with greater acumen and confidence. The journey through this book is not just about learning to manage money. It's about reshaping one's mindset towards wealth creation and understanding the true essence of financial freedom. Chapter 1. The Power of Choice. In the opening chapter of Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki sets the stage for a profound exploration of how choices shape our financial destinies. Central to this chapter is the idea that while many people believe they are constrained by external circumstances, such as their income level or family background, the truth is that financial success often hinges on the decisions individuals make. Kiyosaki uses the contrasting lives of his two dads to illustrate this principle vividly. His poor dad, though intelligent and hardworking, adhered to societal norms and remained trapped in a cycle of financial struggle. Conversely, his rich dad, despite having less formal education, embraced unconventional thinking and leveraged opportunities to build wealth. One of the key lessons in this chapter is the importance of taking control of one's financial future. Kiyosaki emphasizes that relying solely on a paycheck or following traditional career paths does not guarantee financial security. Instead, he advocates for proactive decision-making, encouraging readers to think critically about how they earn, spend, and invest their money. For instance, his poor dad believed in working hard for money, while his rich dad taught him to make money work for him, a subtle yet transformative shift in perspective. To drive home the message, Kiyosaki recounts an early lesson from his rich dad, the story of choosing between immediate gratification, a small weekly allowance, and delayed rewards, learning the skills to generate wealth. This anecdote underscores the value of prioritizing long-term gains over short-term pleasures, a cornerstone of financial literacy. By presenting such relatable scenarios, Kiyosaki not only makes the concept of choice tangible, but also inspires readers to reflect on their own financial habits and aspirations. Ultimately, Chapter 1 serves as a call to action, urging readers to recognize the power they hold in shaping their financial destinies. Through the stories of his two dads, Kiyosaki lays the groundwork for the subsequent chapters, where he delves deeper into the principles and strategies necessary for achieving financial independence. Chapter 2. The myth of job security. In Chapter 2 of Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki dismantles the widely accepted notion of job security as a pathway to financial stability. Drawing from the divergent perspectives of his two fathers, Kiyosaki exposes the limitations of relying solely on employment income and highlights the risks inherent in depending on a single source of revenue. His poor dad, a well-educated and respected government official, firmly believed in climbing the corporate ladder and securing a steady paycheck. Despite his dedication and years of service, he found himself perpetually struggling to make ends meet, burdened by debt and unable to accumulate wealth. This stark reality contrasts sharply with the philosophy of his rich dad, who viewed traditional employment as a form of financial dependency rather than security. Kiyosaki argues that the concept of job security is fundamentally flawed because it fosters complacency and discourages individuals from seeking alternative avenues for wealth creation. He illustrates this point through his rich dad's teachings, which emphasized the importance of generating multiple streams of income. For instance, instead of focusing solely on a salary, his rich dad encouraged Kiyosaki to explore investments, entrepreneurship, and asset acquisition as means to achieve true financial independence. One memorable anecdote involves Rich Dad explaining how owning assets like rental properties or businesses could provide passive income, allowing individuals to break free from the constraints of a paycheck-to-paycheck lifestyle. The chapter also delves into the psychological barriers that prevent people from pursuing financial independence. Kiyosaki highlights how fear of failure and societal conditioning often deter individuals from taking risks or stepping outside their comfort zones. To counteract this, he shares a pivotal moment when Rich Dad challenged him to view failures as learning opportunities rather than setbacks. This mindset shift, Kiyosaki explains, is crucial for overcoming the fear of losing a stable job and embracing the uncertainty that comes with building wealth. Through these narratives, Kiyosaki effectively conveys the dangers of placing blind faith in job security. He warns readers that relying exclusively on a paycheck leaves them vulnerable to economic downturns, layoffs, and inflation, all factors that can erode financial stability. Instead, he advocates for diversifying income sources and adopting an entrepreneurial mindset. By doing so, individuals can create a safety net that transcends the limitations of traditional employment, paving the way for long-term financial resilience. Chapter 3: Assets versus Liabilities. In Chapter 3 of Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki presents one of the most fundamental distinctions in personal finance: the difference between assets and liabilities. This chapter serves as a cornerstone of the book, offering readers a clear framework for understanding how wealth is built or diminished through the choices individuals make regarding their finances. Kiyosaki begins by defining assets as anything that generates income or appreciates in value, thereby putting money into your pocket. Conversely, liabilities are items that drain resources, taking money out of your pocket. This seemingly simple distinction, however, carries profound implications for financial health and independence. To illustrate this concept, Kiyosaki draws on the contrasting behaviors of his two fathers. His poor dad, despite earning a respectable income, consistently spent his earnings on liabilities such as expensive cars, large homes, and consumer goods. These purchases, while initially satisfying, ultimately siphoned away his wealth and left him financially strained. On the other hand, his rich dad focused on acquiring assets, rental properties, stocks, and businesses that generated passive income and appreciated over time. This deliberate strategy allowed Rich Dad to build wealth steadily, even during periods when he wasn't actively working. Kiyosaki further reinforces this lesson through a series of anecdotes that highlight the consequences of misclassifying assets and liabilities. One notable example involves a friend who proudly purchased a luxury car, believing it to be a status symbol and thus an asset. However, Kiyosaki explains that the car was, in fact, a liability due to its depreciation, maintenance costs, and insurance expenses. This story underscores the importance of distinguishing between what truly adds value to your financial portfolio and what merely depletes it. The chapter also addresses common misconceptions about homeownership, a topic that often confuses individuals when categorizing assets and liabilities. While many people consider their home an asset, Kiyosaki argues that it is typically a liability unless it generates income. For instance, a primary residence incurs ongoing expenses such as mortgage payments, property taxes, and repairs, all of which take money out of the homeowner's pocket. In contrast, a rental property that generates monthly cash flow qualifies as an asset because it contributes positively to one's financial position. By the end of the chapter, Kiyosaki provides readers with actionable advice. Focus on acquiring income-generating assets and minimize liabilities. He stresses that financial freedom is achieved not by accumulating material possessions, but by building a portfolio of assets that work for you. This lesson serves as a critical foundation for the subsequent chapters, where Kiyosaki elaborates on strategies for identifying and investing in assets that align with long-term wealth-building goals. Chapter 4: The Mindset of Wealth Creation. Chapter 4 of Rich Dad. Poor Dad delves deeply into the psychological aspects of wealth creation, emphasizing the transformative power of mindset in achieving financial success. Robert Kiyosaki asserts that beyond the tangible assets and strategic investments discussed in previous chapters, the internal beliefs and attitudes one holds about money play a pivotal role in determining financial outcomes. This chapter explores how shifting from a scarcity mindset to an abundance mindset can unlock new opportunities and foster a proactive approach to wealth accumulation. Kiyosaki illustrates this concept through the contrasting mental frameworks of his two fathers. His poor dad, embodying a scarcity mindset, often expressed fears about financial instability and clung to the security of a steady paycheck. This mindset led him to prioritize job security over risk-taking, inadvertently limiting his potential for wealth growth. In stark contrast, his rich dad operated from an abundance mindset, viewing money as a tool for creating more wealth. Rich Dad encouraged Kiyosaki to see opportunities where others saw obstacles, fostering a sense of empowerment and possibility. A significant portion of this chapter is dedicated to overcoming fear and self-doubt, which Kiyosaki identifies as major barriers to financial success. He recounts a pivotal moment when Rich Dad challenged him to confront his fear of failure by starting a small business venture. Initially hesitant, Kiyosaki learned that failure was not a reflection of his worth, but rather a stepping stone toward greater knowledge and experience. This lesson underscored the importance of resilience and adaptability in the face of setbacks, qualities essential for anyone aspiring to build wealth. Moreover, Kiyosaki discusses the societal conditioning that often perpetuates a scarcity mindset. From a young age, many individuals are taught to equate hard work with financial security, neglecting the potential of leveraging money to generate more money. Rich Dad countered this conditioning by teaching Kiyosaki to think creatively about wealth generation, encouraging him to seek innovative solutions and embrace calculated risks. This shift in perspective enabled Kiyosaki to view financial challenges as opportunities for growth rather than insurmountable obstacles. By the end of Chapter 4, Kiyosaki offers practical strategies for cultivating an abundance mindset. He suggests surrounding oneself with like-minded individuals who share a vision of financial prosperity, continually educating oneself about money management, and setting ambitious yet achievable financial goals. These practices, combined with a willingness to step outside one's comfort zone, lay the groundwork for sustained wealth creation and financial independence. This chapter not only reinforces the importance of mindset in financial success, but also sets the stage for subsequent discussions on entrepreneurship and investment strategies. By addressing the psychological barriers that hinder wealth creation, Kiyosaki empowers readers to adopt a proactive and optimistic approach to their financial futures. Chapter 5: Entrepreneurship and Financial Independence. In Chapter 5 of Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Robert T. Kiyosaki shifts the focus to entrepreneurship as a powerful vehicle for achieving financial independence. Building on the foundational principles of financial literacy and mindset discussed in earlier chapters, Kiyosaki emphasizes that traditional employment often limits one's ability to accumulate wealth. Instead, he advocates for entrepreneurship as a means to break free from the constraints of a paycheck and create lasting financial security. Through the contrasting experiences of his two fathers, Kiyosaki illustrates how embracing an entrepreneurial mindset can open doors to opportunities that traditional jobs simply cannot offer. His poor dad, despite his dedication to climbing the corporate ladder, remained tethered to a fixed income and lacked the flexibility to pursue ventures that could generate exponential wealth. In contrast, his rich dad viewed entrepreneurship as a pathway to financial freedom, constantly seeking ways to innovate, solve problems, and create value. Kiyosaki recounts a pivotal lesson from his rich dad. The richest people in the world look for and build networks. Everyone else looks for work. This insight underscores the importance of leveraging connections, partnerships, and scalable business models to amplify one's earning potential. To demonstrate the power of entrepreneurship, Kiyosaki shares several anecdotes from his own journey. One particularly compelling story involves his early struggles with a nylon wallet business. Despite initial failures and financial losses, Kiyosaki learned invaluable lessons about market demand, customer preferences, and the importance of persistence. These experiences taught him that entrepreneurship is not just about generating income, but also about developing resilience, adaptability, and problem-solving skills, qualities that are indispensable for long-term success. The chapter also addresses common fears and misconceptions that deter individuals from pursuing entrepreneurship. Many people hesitate to start their own businesses due to concerns about risk, failure, or lack of expertise. Kiyosaki counters these fears by reframing failure as a necessary part of the learning process. He recounts how his rich dad encouraged him to view mistakes as feedback rather than defeat, fostering a mindset that embraces experimentation and continuous improvement. Furthermore, he highlights the importance of starting small and scaling gradually, minimizing risk while gaining valuable experience. Kiyosaki also explores the broader societal benefits of entrepreneurship, arguing that it not only creates wealth for individuals, but also drives innovation and job creation within communities. By taking ownership of their financial destinies, entrepreneurs contribute to economic growth and inspire others to pursue their own ventures. This ripple effect underscores the transformative potential of entrepreneurship as a force for positive change. By the end of Chapter 5, Kiyosaki provides readers with actionable steps to embark on their entrepreneurial journeys. He encourages them to identify problems they are passionate about solving, research market needs, and leverage their unique skills and networks to create value. Whether through starting a small business, investing in real estate, or exploring online ventures, Kiyosaki emphasizes that entrepreneurship is accessible to anyone willing to take the first step. This chapter not only reinforces the importance of entrepreneurship in achieving financial independence, but also inspires readers to embrace their potential as creators and innovators. Chapter 6: Overcoming Obstacles and Embracing Growth. In Chapter 6 of Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki tackles the inevitable challenges and obstacles that arise on the path to financial independence. Recognizing that setbacks are an integral part of any journey towards success, Kiyosaki emphasizes the importance of resilience, adaptability, and a growth-oriented mindset in navigating these difficulties. Through the contrasting approaches of his two fathers, he illustrates how one's attitude toward adversity can either hinder progress or serve as a catalyst for personal and financial growth. His poor dad, despite his intelligence and hard work, often succumbed to frustration and despair when faced with financial challenges. Whether it was mounting debt or unmet career expectations, Poor Dad's tendency to dwell on problems rather than solutions kept him trapped in a cycle of struggle. Kiyosaki recounts how his poor dad would frequently express feelings of helplessness, blaming external circumstances for his financial woes. This reactive mindset, Kiyosaki argues, is a common barrier that prevents individuals from achieving their full potential. In contrast, his rich dad approached obstacles with a proactive and solution-oriented mindset. Rather than viewing challenges as insurmountable roadblocks, Rich Dad saw them as opportunities to learn, grow, and refine his strategies. Kiyosaki shares a poignant story from his childhood, when Rich Dad faced a significant business setback. Instead of panicking, Rich Dad calmly analyzed the situation, identified the root causes of the problem, and implemented corrective measures. This experience taught Kiyosaki the value of maintaining composure under pressure and using adversity as a springboard for improvement. One of the key lessons in this chapter is the importance of embracing failure as a natural and necessary part of the learning process. Kiyosaki argues that failure is not a reflection of one's abilities, but rather a stepping stone toward mastery. He recounts his own experiences with failed ventures, such as a disastrous attempt at running a convenience store chain. While the financial losses were painful, Kiyosaki credits these failures with teaching him invaluable lessons about market dynamics, leadership, and risk management. By reframing failure as feedback, he was able to extract meaningful insights and apply them to future endeavors. The chapter also addresses the psychological toll of setbacks and the importance of maintaining emotional resilience. Kiyosaki acknowledges that financial challenges can evoke feelings of fear, doubt, and frustration. However, he emphasizes the need to cultivate mental toughness and stay focused on long-term goals. Drawing from Rich Dad's teachings, he encourages readers to adopt a growth mindset, viewing every obstacle as an opportunity to develop new skills and strengthen their resolve. Practical strategies for building resilience include surrounding oneself with supportive mentors, practicing gratitude, and celebrating small victories along the way. Another critical aspect of overcoming obstacles is adaptability, the ability to pivot and adjust strategies in response to changing circumstances. Kiyosaki highlights how Rich Dad consistently adapted to market trends and economic shifts, ensuring that his investments remained aligned with emerging opportunities. For instance, when interest rates rose unexpectedly, Rich Dad quickly shifted his focus from real estate to commodities, capitalizing on the changing landscape. This adaptability not only safeguarded his wealth, but also positioned him to thrive in uncertain times. By the end of Chapter 6, Kiyosaki provides readers with actionable advice for overcoming their own financial challenges. He encourages them to anticipate setbacks, prepare contingency plans, and remain committed to their goals despite temporary setbacks. Above all, he stresses the importance of perseverance, reminding readers that success is rarely a straight path, but rather a series of ups and downs that ultimately lead to growth and achievement. This chapter serves as both a source of inspiration and a practical guide for navigating the inevitable hurdles on the road to financial independence. Conclusion: the journey to financial freedom. As Rich Dad, Poor Dad draws to a close, Robert T. Kiyosaki revisits the core principles that have guided readers through their journey toward financial independence. At the heart of this transformative book lies the enduring importance of financial literacy, an essential skill that empowers individuals to navigate the complexities of money management with confidence and clarity. Kiyosaki reiterates that understanding the difference between assets and liabilities, mastering the art of wealth creation, and adopting an entrepreneurial mindset are not merely strategies for financial success, but lifelong disciplines that shape one's relationship with money. Throughout the chapters, Kiyosaki has consistently highlighted the limitations of conventional financial wisdom, urging readers to challenge societal norms and embrace unconventional thinking. His Poor Dad's adherence to traditional career paths and reliance on job security serves as a cautionary tale, illustrating how a lack of financial education can perpetuate cycles of struggle. In contrast, his Rich Dad's emphasis on acquiring assets, taking calculated risks, and fostering a mindset of abundance demonstrates the transformative power of financial intelligence. These lessons underscore the critical need for individuals to take control of their financial destinies rather than passively accepting the status quo. Looking ahead, Kiyosaki encourages readers to continue their financial education beyond the pages of this book. He emphasizes that the journey to financial independence is not a destination, but an ongoing process of learning, adapting, and growing. By staying informed about market trends, exploring new investment opportunities, and refining their strategies, individuals can build wealth that withstands the test of time. Moreover, Kiyosaki reminds readers that setbacks and failures are inevitable, but should be viewed as stepping stones rather than stumbling blocks. Resilience, adaptability, and a commitment to lifelong learning are the hallmarks of those who achieve lasting financial success. Finally, Kiyosaki leaves readers with a powerful call to action, to take the lessons learned from Rich Dad, Poor Dad and put them into practice. Whether through starting a business, investing in assets, or simply re-evaluating one's spending habits, the tools and insights provided in this book are designed to inspire action. By embracing the principles of financial literacy, challenging limiting beliefs, and cultivating an entrepreneurial spirit, readers can pave the way for a future defined by financial freedom and fulfillment. As Kiyosaki aptly concludes, the true measure of wealth is not just the size of one's bank account, but the ability to live life on one's own terms. You listened to Rich Dad, Poor Dad audiobook summary. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for listening. Don't forget to subscribe, put like, and hit the bell so you can reach the coming book.